Le verlan is a form of French slang that is created from taking the pronunciation of existing words and, among other things, flipping the syllables around. Now, as you can imagine, to the untrained ear like ours, this makes it sound like a completely different word. Even the name itself is an example of verlan. It is à l'envers, or the l'envers in à l'envers, which means reversed. I used to find it pretty overwhelming as a French learner. The language was already hard enough to understand without worrying about what feels like a whole new one built on top of it. But I can now tell you that that was silly. You can go your whole life without needing to use it and you'd still be a fluent French speaker. So now I choose to just stay curious and enjoy learning new bits of verlan as they come up. Some have made it into wider society and some stay very niche. One place I recently heard a lot of verlan was in the first episode of Netflix's Drôle, about 4 stand-up comedians trying to make it in Paris, the home and origin of verlan. So in this video, I'm going to use clips from this episode to teach you 8 pieces of verlan. Du coup, si vous êtes prêts et curieux, allez, c'est parti. Okay, on to the first clip, and for context, the girl, Aïssatou, is complaining that only 15 people came to her show. Let's watch.
Eh mec, hier j'ai joué mon spectacle devant 15 personnes, sérieux. Je suis déprimée là.
Ah, mais dis-toi que c'est toujours 15 de plus que la meuf de l'envers du décor.
Putain, j'avoue.
So, Nézir says, c'est toujours 15 de plus de la meuf de l'envers du décor. What do you think is the verlan here? Well, it's la meuf, which is verlan for la femme. This is probably one of the most widespread pieces of verlan, which is everywhere in France now. It's not niche at all anymore. Some girls call their female friends meuf. Some guys refer to their girlfriend or wife as meuf. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but it happens. So it's a great one to start with. And you can see how femme became meuf. The last syllable is me, if fully pronounced, femme. And they've taken that, when they flip it around, they then need to keep that sound, so you can't just put that in front of an F, it would be mef. So they add the U for it to become me, and you have no need for an extra E at the end because you already have the sound they're looking for, meuf.
Eh mec, hier j'ai joué mon spectacle devant 15 personnes, sérieux. Je suis déprimée là.
Ah, mais dis-toi que c'est toujours 15 de plus que la meuf de l'envers du décor.
Putain, j'avoue.
Ensuite, we meet comedy club boss Bling greet the up-and-coming comedians. Listen to this. I almost missed this one because he adapts the verlan to his own needs. But he says, ça va les minicums ou quoi? Ça va les minicums ou quoi? So he's asking them how it's going. But why minicum? Sounds a bit rude in English, right? Well, cum is the verlan for mec, which, by the way, is already an informal way of saying not slang, but informal. And he says minicum because, well, he's the boss and they are starting their careers. It's spelled with a K, presumably because if you put a C in front of EUM, that sound would have to be pronounced like sum. And keeping the K is crucial to them. Personally, I never hear people around me say cum, but I hear mec all the time and use it myself to refer to friends. Eh, les mecs. And boyfriends and husbands are sometimes referred to as mon mec as well. Let's listen to that clip again. Next up are Aïssatou and Nézir again from the first clip.
Aïssa?
Ouais.
T'es relou.
Ok, on peut plus stresser tranquille dans ce pays là.
So, Aïssatou or Aïssa is pretty nervous and pacing around, and Nézir says, Aïssa, t'es relou. And this is the verlan for lourd. Now, lourd literally means heavy, but it's also informal language for a person that is annoying in the sense that they are taxing or demanding or tiring. Relou is the same, it's just the verlan. Simple as that. So let's see that again and move on to clip 4.
Aïssa?
Ouais.
T'es relou.
C'est quand même une expérience. C'est comme quand tu mets tes doigts entre les coussins d'un canapé en cuir pour aller choper la télécommande. Tu vois ou pas? Sauf qu'il n'y a pas la télécommande. Enfin, normalement. Sinon, c'est chelou.
Okay, The Verlan here is chelou, which is the reversed version of louche, an adjective which translates to sketchy, dodgy, seedy, or unsettling. She's using a metaphor to describe a sexual act that, for obvious reasons, I won't go into here, but essentially she's saying that you don't normally find a remote control while you're doing it. Otherwise, it's chelou. It's a bit dodgy and unsettling.
C'est quand même une expérience. C'est comme quand tu mets tes doigts entre les coussins d'un canapé en cuir pour aller choper la télécommande. Tu vois ou pas? Sauf qu'il n'y a pas la télécommande. Enfin, normalement. Je veux dire, sinon, c'est chelou.
Sinon, c'est chelou. Now we come to one of my favourite Verlan discoveries from the episode, so let's watch it.
Non, ça va les gars. T'es sûr? Ouais, non, ça va. Vas-y, prends, vas-y. Non, en vrai de vrai, je dois y aller, j'ai des vannes à écrire, les mecs. Les gars, vas-y. Ouais, on veut voir ton de mal, mon frère. Hein. Fais-nous gaulerie, on en a besoin. Fais gaulerie la France, mon frère.
Nazir moves to leave saying, j'ai des vannes à écrire, les mecs. And van is informal for blague, joke. J'ai des vannes à écrire, les mecs. So there's that use of les mecs again. And Mokhtar, the other guy, says, among other things, fais-nous gaulerie, on en a besoin. Fais gaulerie la France, mon frère. Now, apart from demonstrating one of the advanced uses of faire that I talk about in this video, he gives us the Verlan word gaulerie. What could this be the Verlan for? Well, it's the verb rigoler, which is to laugh. English speakers typically learn rire before rigoler, but I find rigoler to be used a lot more, and it actually encompasses both the laughter aspect and the having fun aspect, whereas rire is simply laugh. So, fais-nous gaulerie and fais gaulerie la France is make us laugh, make France laugh. Let's have a look again.
Ouais, on veut voir ton de mal, mon frère. Hein. Fais-nous gaulerie, on en a besoin. Fais gaulerie la France, mon frère.
And just as an extra bit of info, in episode 2, Bling even uses gaulerie for the adjective rigolo.
Alors, t'as pensé à quoi?
J'ai noté des trucs, attends.
C'est quoi tes thèmes? Qu'est-ce que t'aimes dans la vie, tu vois?
Mais moi, je kiffe les docus animaliers, je kiffe les boîtes, je kiffe les meufs. Eh ben voilà, les actrices porno petites. C'est gaulerie, ça.
C'est gaulerie ça, c'est gaulerie ça, c'est rigolo ça. That's funny. The geek in me finds it trop cool that one piece of Verlan could be both a verb and an adjective. Ensuite, we have il est chômé. Il est chômé. Let's see the clip where Nazir is on the phone to his cousin who's telling him about a hotel.
Non mais en plus, je le connais, le hôtel de Roissy, franchement, il est chambé, ils l'ont tout refait à neuf, 4 étoiles, beaucoup de turnover, rien à dire.
This is an interesting one because it's the Verlan of méchant, which, as you may or may not know, means mean, nasty or evil. But the Verlan form chômé is a way to express strong admiration for something or someone. She says, je le connais, le Novotel de Roissy. Franchement, il est chômé. Ils l'ont tout refait à neuf. I know the Roissy Novotel. Honestly, it's awesome. They've done up everything as new. Personnellement, j'adore. C'est chômé.
Non mais en plus, je le connais, le hôtel de Roissy, franchement, il est chambé, ils l'ont tout refait à neuf, 4 étoiles, beaucoup de turnover, rien à dire.
Later, we're on stage with Nazir, and thankfully he speaks very slowly and clearly about his dad's complete absence of housework skills. And he uses what I found is a sort of mix of words. It's crazy. I'll play a couple of lines here.
Juste que je suis sûr qu'il ne sait même pas que c'est moi qui fais tout. Je suis persuadé qu'il croit que la nuit, il y a une meuf qui vient en scred. Le fantôme de ma mère, peut-être?
Alors, he says, je suis persuadé qu'il croit que la nuit, il y a une meuf qui vient en scred. So, we see meuf again here, but the mix of words is en scred. Scred is the Verlan of discret or discreet, but also possibly secret, according to one article I found. So, la nuit, il y a une meuf qui vient en scred would be French for during the night or at night, there's a woman who comes in secret to do the housework. And I mentioned this one to a couple of Frenchies and they had no idea what it meant until I gave them context. So it's not just us that struggle. I love how he delivers the lines too. It's a big part of why he's funny. And I definitely recommend you watch the whole episode, by the way, if you haven't already. Let's see that clip again.
Juste que je suis sûr qu'il ne sait même pas que c'est moi qui fais tout. Je suis persuadé qu'il croit que la nuit, il y a une meuf qui vient en scred. Le fantôme de ma mère, peut-être?
So, following a great 5 minutes on stage, Bling approaches Nazir and says the following, and he does it en scred, actually.
La dernière fois que tu m'as dit ça, ça s'est pas très bien passé. Mais
Mec, t'as assuré de ouf ce soir.
merci.
He says, mec, t'as assuré de ouf ce soir. Mec, t'as assuré de ouf ce soir. Man, you really nailed it tonight, or man, you killed it tonight. Assurer, in this sense, is a good verb to learn, really positive and complimentary. But the Verlan is ouf, as part of de ouf. Now, Elisa, in our collaboration video, taught us this as well. Basically, it's the Verlan of fou, which is an adjective that means crazy. It's the masculine form. You have folle for feminine form. Now, you can give it more punch by adding de. So, un truc fou is a crazy thing, but un truc de fou is even more crazy. And then un truc de ouf is really crazy, in a good or a bad way. The character Bling uses it as an adverb with the verb assurer, but it's just adding more punch to the verb. T'as assuré equals you did great. And t'as assuré de ouf means like something like you nailed it. De ouf is quite common and widespread, and I try and use it more and more as it starts to feel more natural. But as with everything, it can take time.
La dernière fois que tu m'as dit ça, ça s'est pas très bien passé. Mais
Mec, t'as assuré de ouf ce soir.
merci.
Ah, merci Bling, c'est un compliment de ouf. Naturally, not all Verlan came about at the same time. It wasn't just overnight. It's gradual, as is perfectly shown in the Netflix series Les 7 Vies de Léa, where a girl travels back in time and every day lives a day in someone else's body. In this clip, she, in the body of a boy, uses de ouf, but the others have no idea what it means, and I just had to include it while I was researching for this video.
C'est qui de ouf?
Hein? De fou? En Verlan, de fou, de ouf. Des trucs de ouf. Des mortels, des trucs géniaux.
So that's it, guys. You've learned Verlan is Verlan for l'envers, meuf for femme, comme for mec, relou for lourd, chelou for louche, gaulerie for rigoler and rigolo, charmé for méchant, but means génial, scred from discret, and ouf from fou. Right, merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé tout le monde et d'être resté jusqu'à la fin avec moi. Vous êtes tous trop charmés. Let me know your favorite bits of Verlan down in the comments below, and I hope you continue being curious and embracing all the French you can get your eyes and ears on. Links to useful resources connected with the video are down in the description. Passez une belle journée tout le monde. À la prochaine. Ciao, ciao.